Anyone here? Anyone alive? Hello. We got 2 people in here. Yeah, as you guys know, maybe you don't know, the Quarantine Backyard Ultra just finished up. I thought I would just go live here for a minute and discuss just a couple thoughts, see what other people thought. I don't know if you guys have been tuning into it. Cool. We got about 40 people in. How's it going, guys? How many of you guys have been watching the Quarantine Backyard Ultra? Just curious. Can you hear me okay? Just figured I would go live here and chat a little bit about the dramatic finish that just went down. How's it going, guys? Where's everyone from tonight? All right. How many of you guys were watching what just went down? Because I actually missed it. I was here printing some shirts in our little print shop. So I wasn't able to catch it, but I watched the replay on the Facebook. So essentially what happened, if I can describe it, they were, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, which most of you probably should, this Quarantine Backyard Ultra, it's based off of Laz's Big's Backyard Ultra. So essentially you have to run 4.167 miles every hour. You have to start on the hour and you have to finish before the hour's up and be back in the starting corral. So what happened is there was 2 guys left, Roddick from Czech Republic and then Michael Wardian from Virginia. They were battling it out. They were 62 hours in, I believe. They were just about to start 63 hours. And it was interesting because all these guys, they were all in their respective camera angles. So they're all on Zoom. You've got Laz watching in one corner. You've got Mike Wardian standing outside in his corral and Roddick right on his screen. So yeah, someone just said the Roddick's clock might have been different. Who knows? If he was watching YouTube, it might have been delayed. If he was watching the Zoom call, that one should have been correct. Regardless, the question comes down to, I guess, the rules. So I was just looking this up on the race rule website, so Personal Peak. So what they say in the rule book, and it says it in a couple spots. So the racer guide, this is from their website. You guys can check it out. Okay, starting corral. This is the second rule. So your starting corral is the field of view on your camera running Zoom. If you aren't using Zoom, then designate a spot in the entry of your home, backyard, etc. Use that to begin each loop. Participants must be in their starting corral at the bell, and it says it must leave immediately to start their loop. So clearly he was in his starting corral. He was on his treadmill. I screen recorded this thing. He was on there in advance. The question mark becomes, must leave immediately to start their loop. So clearly if you are running loops somewhere in your neighborhood, you have to leave the field of view and go do your loop, and you're good to go. Question is, do you need to start your treadmill right at the starting? And I guess that was the rule that they decided was true. Could Reddick argue something? Maybe, but there's a little bit more. So let's scroll down. So if you're on a treadmill, it says, here's the specific rules for the treadmill if you're using it. 0 to 2% incline, no handrail hold. If you want to go above and beyond to make sure that nobody will ever think you cheat, if you want to go take a picture of your treadmill after each loop to prove you did in fact run the correct distance, maybe might have been upset. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this was the right call from the race directors? Do you think that they made the right call here, essentially? I'm just curious what you guys think. I just wanted to jump on and kind of play it out. I watched it. You can see it on Facebook right now. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm not sure if the chats are coming through. So some people are saying, I think he was muted and could not hear the alerts. Some people are saying it was the right call. Definitely the right call. A lot of people are saying that. We need to hear from Radic. What does he have to say? That would be curious. I know they cut the live stream out at some point. It seems, I mean, obviously it's a super emotional call for everyone. And I mean, Laz was right there. Laz created the format, so you got to default to his judgment. It very much feels like a bit of a Gary Robbins situation from a few years ago with the Barkley, when, you know, he missed it by 6 seconds, but also took the wrong course. Yeah. So let's see, who else is saying? Diggs Diggler says, I watched on Facebook and it was the right call. Robert Harris, no problems for 60 laps, maybe sleep deprivation. Definitely could be. Who knows? It looked like he was fiddling with his iPad or something. He might have been doing something with that. Lost track of time, very possibly. Let's see. Mark McColgan says, I don't think it helped that Laz and Sandra said it's done and then logged off. So that was kind of their call. Ryan Downey, Laz was the first to call DQ, but he wasn't the RD. I think the RD should have at least waited to call. Chris White's asking what happened. So essentially, Radic was on his treadmill, but he didn't start running until 2 minutes into the lap. So he was just standing there. He seemed like he didn't know that the lap started. He didn't quit, didn't mean to stop, but he essentially got DQ'd. Let's see, Blair Hyatt, Laz just posted he's really glad he does not have to make this call. So yeah, it sounds like ultimately it is the RDs. It doesn't appear explicitly it was stated in the rules that if you don't start your treadmill exactly at 0, within 10 seconds, the rule wasn't explicitly stated. So there might be an argument for it. I'm not a lawyer, but maybe it could be said. I was trying to dig this up. What race was this supposed to be? Where was it going to be? And were all the elites signed up for? Yeah, this is the Quarantine Backyard Ultra. Mike Wilkinson, great that this event has this much attention and meeting. I agree with you. I think it's awesome. Ian N, have to use a watch than doing this and not rely upon Zoom to give time warnings. Mike Wilkinson, again, crazy that it comes down to a treadmill DQ. That's kind of what I have to say. It's just absolutely heartbreaking for it to end like this. I don't think any of us especially wanted it to end this way, where it's kind of a win on a technicality. If this was a normal backyard and there was like a giant bell ringing, do you think Roddick would have not started? He would have, most likely. I'm not trying to intentionally stir up drama, just trying to feel this out, see what people are thinking. But yeah, I'm just trying to see, you know, like what the rules are for treadmills in this virtual race. Obviously, it's the first time. It's a tough way to learn it, you know, but I mean, it probably is the right rule to enact. I'm sure that the rules will be refined after this, that if you don't leave your corral, meaning you don't start your treadmill, then that's it. So that seems like what it happened here. If you guys have any other questions or chats or thoughts, I'm just kind of like letting some raw emotion go out. That's why I started this, just kind of impromptu. Robert Harris says Wardian didn't want it to end this way either. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he wanted that record. He wanted to go over 68. So it's just equally heartbreaking. Mike Mullins says Mike Wardian was ready to keep going. I think Radic was too. It was the right call. Bummer. Yeah. Andrew Nomick, what's your next inaugural ultramarathon? Not sure right now. Andrew Pavey, my wife and daughters could not care any less about my running. All three were glued to this race. That's awesome to hear. Stephanie Nicole, I'd say standing on the treadmill is being in the corral. Starting the treadmill is leaving the corral. He didn't leave for almost 2 minutes. That's pretty fair. I mean, that's tough to argue with, and I'd have to say that likely will be the explicit rule heading forward, if it wasn't explicitly stated before. Mark Reef says, weren't the rules that you could only get off your treadmill for a bathroom break or when you were done with the loop? So technically it says you can't get off until you're done with your loop at all. Like you can't even stop it. So when I was running, I accidentally hit the little emergency stop rip cord. So mine accidentally stopped. So I had to kind of recharge and reset mine. So that's an interesting thing. Paul Chapman, let's see. Mr. Seville says Wardian's last loop though, 31 minutes. I bet he was probably excited and scared. Michelle Williams says treadmill has an extra challenge because the camera is always on you. That's true. Barley Runner, would be awesome to see them duke it out off camera, like in the back alley. Colton C says, what lap are they on? Lap is going into lap 63, I believe. So over 250 miles. Dorothy Penner says, my heart goes out to both of them. Neither were ready to be done. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the true, like, agony, kind of the agony of defeat, and not the way anyone would have wanted it to go. But man, all I have to say is ultra running has some crazy drama, and this event was, I mean, who would have thought it would have ended like this with just a technical error? It's crazy. Mark Reef, so when Greg Armstrong got off the treadmill for a snake, he should have been disqualified. I guess that's kind of an eye-opener. This is the first time this has ever happened. So this is maybe time for us to debate, what should a future event look like? What should the rules look like? How do we enforce other parts of it, because I guess it's within the bounds of the rules at bigs or anything else where you leave that corral, but then you could stop and sit down for 5 minutes and then keep going. So, I mean, if he took one step on his treadmill and then hung out for a minute, is that legal? Just kind of makes you question some more. Russell House, I was watching it when it happened. Truly heartbreaking. I'm not sure about the rules about aid, but after the timer started, Roddick was still receiving items from the person with him. It's another good point. Laz put it best. Roddick is only left with the taste of ashes. Holy crap. That's insane. Seatown Fam says, just good to see a running event like this right now. I agree. I think it was the most captivating event of the year so far. I think all of us are going to remember it for quite some time, and I bet something like this will happen again. Paul Bowerman, Laz called it immediately. He's used to making the tough calls. We're not. That's the only reason we're debating. Yeah, I mean, it's a debate. It's kind of a reaction video, just because I know they ended their stream, and I think I was watching and they just ended it, and I had just jumped on, so I didn't really have a chance to process. So I just wanted to call it. But yeah, Laz called it pretty quick. And it was interesting because Laz, his face was like right up in the feed as it was happening. So, I mean, he had a first person view of it all. He saw exactly what happened. And I think within the first minute, he said, why is he not moving? He needs to keep going. Colton C, do you expect this to be an annual event? If not, would Aravaipa consider doing it? Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what Personal Peak does. I'm planning to do a last person standing style event at some point in a couple months. We might do a different format, possibly 1 mile every 15 minutes, just to mix it up, shake it up a little bit. But yeah, if you guys want something like that, we'd love to discuss doing another version. May not have all the elites involved, but I think it would be pretty fun. Mike Mullins, shout out to Anna Carlson for her incredible third place finish, for sure. And that is no doubt tough. She was on a frozen lake north of the Arctic Circle. If you guys saw that, that was incredible. Andrew Pavey, how much discretion do you think RDs generally have when interpreting and applying rules? Well, ultimately, an RD has ultimate discretion. If they're trying to make it an official Laz golden ticket race, they have to follow his rules. But if they're just creating their own event, they can do whatever they want. Barley Runner says aid was allowed mid-loop in the rules. I think because they said they couldn't police it. Vivian says a lot of respect for Mike, Radek, and the RDs. For sure. I mean, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. Scott Storm chimes in, Personal Peak failed to start the clock on the hour at one point. Not impressed with this ruling. It's a fair point. Stephanie Nicole, did anything happen after Personal Peak had issues with Facebook Live? They mentioned that they'd be back, but I didn't see anything else. I haven't seen anything, and that's kind of why I started this. At some point, it just cut out. So I felt like there was more to talk about, and that's why I wanted to start a stream and just kind of vent a little bit or let people comment a little bit more and debrief. Diggs Digglers took my mind off of everything going on, still creating dialogue for sure. Sean McManus, if you look at Wardian and probably most athletes' Strava, do you see a 8:01 p.m. start time? Do we analyze it at this closely for all athletes or only when there are two and everyone else is watching? Very good point. Blair Hyatt says Laz's call to make, he is not the RD. Okay. It wasn't Laz's call though. Okay, good point. Alice Theobald, this definitely was cool to watch. A much needed break from the rabbit hole of the news. Blair Hyatt says, yes, the RD needed to find out why he was not moving before deciding what to do. Philip Miller, if ultra running went Olympic, do you think the backyard format would be the best for it? Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I think that would be the most entertaining Olympic sport of all time to have. And imagine if everyone was on a treadmill in the Olympic Stadium and they had just all the athletes lined up. Holy crap, that would be amazing. Or if they were just on the track itself, or I guess they could run a loop around the the Olympic Stadium if there was a 4.167 mile course. I think it would be the only ultra running event that should be in the Olympics for sure. Online 3 persona. I've been reading comments for 5 minutes. What is the whole story of what we're watching right now? What race happened? What are the deets? Quarantined Backyard Ultra. Go to personalpeak.ca. This was the last person standing event. You have to do 4.167 miles at the start of every hour. Finish it by the end of the hour until only one person's left. There was just a dramatic finish about an hour and a half ago. The top 2 athletes made it over 250 miles and 63 hours in before one of them failed to start the loop on time. He didn't start it within the first 2 minutes, so he was DQ'd. Get Radic on his chat. I wish. Let's see. No live feed so far, they say. Tommy Adams chimes in, says Laz trumped the RD. Why did Anna stop? Was it because of a generator or a snowstorm? I actually didn't see. I hadn't been watching for a while. Bernie says, I'm no idea what this backyard marathon was. Yeah, check it out. It's pretty crazy. We've been pretty much the whole ultra running world has been glued to this for the last 63 hours. And I did participate. I ran 15 hours. I did 100K on the first day before I dropped out. Oxygen Box chimes in. This is what makes the backyard format so heart-wrenching. The bell doesn't care. The bell just rings. It is we who care. It is we who do not wish it to end, but it never ends well. It may only end gracefully. I just got chills reading that. Thank you for that. That was amazing. Bernie says, how big are their backyards? Well, no bigger than 4 miles, but some people were running on very short courses. Some people were on treadmills. Some people were outside. Some people were running in their living rooms because they're on quarantine lockdown. So just however creative you can get. Barley Runner, how great would it be if Mike thought it was a glitch and him, Radic, just kept running, continuing the battle? Yeah. Greg Blackwell, what was the hardest call you've had to make as an RD? I don't know if it was hardest call, but probably the toughest move is we had Kelly Agnew was across the years, and we found out he was cheating, and just kind of having to approach him and put our foot down and call him out on his cheating and to DQ him and to get him out. That was probably one of the toughest things we've ever had to do. The other is like some calls having to do with Black Canyon and alternate courses was tough for sure. I look high AF. I'm tired AF. Stephanie Nicole, both. Oh, it says for Anna Carlson, she ran out of fuel for her generator and there was a snowstorm. That's insane. Diggs Diggler, how did Dave Proctor end up? I think he was in the high 20 hours, maybe 30 hours. Ryan Downey, I want a Barkley/backyard ultra combo so Jamil Coury gets his race day. My race day will come someday. Let's see. Edward, Jamil, love you, bro. Your thoughts on the quarantine leading to further innovation? I'm seeing a lot of inspiring and imaginative things. Absolutely. I think we want to do a 1 mile per hour, 1 mile per 15-minute last person standing later this summer. I think it'd be a really fun format. So it's not the typical Laz style, but I think it would almost be more interactive and more interesting because everyone would have to like form up every 15 minutes and get going. It would just increase the excitement, I think, and the socialness. Eduardo Aguilar, the RD makes what an RD has to make. Follow the rules. Radek and Mike were amazing, though. It's a tough call for sure. Cool. Some people are definitely in if we do it. That's awesome. Let's see. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. I was supposed to do a live stream earlier, so I'm just going to do this little plug now. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We did launch some new Run Steep merchandise. We were just printing some examples. We got some new colorways printing on these singlets. So we got this black and blue. We also have this kind of orange and blue. It's like a brick color. So we've got some technical shirts, singlets, and hoodies as well. So head on over to runsteep.com if you guys want to support what we're doing out here. That's the only plug I'm going to do tonight. Let's see. I'll answer a few more questions, but I got to get back to shirt printing tonight. Justin, Jamil, do you think Ultra will ever make the Olympics? Yeah, that would be a cool format. I don't know. I hope so. I mean, technically, the 50K race walk is already in the Olympics, but I don't know. It's not huge for me. Find Me in a River says, it's sad for Radek, but here's the quote from Personal Peak website. All competitors must start at the bell, no late starts. Pretty much sums it up right there. Mike S., total joke. After botched technology continued dropping the ball on the tech end, it's total BS to DQ Radek when his phone feed froze. There might be more to the story there. I mean, I don't want to throw the organizers under the bus. I know that this was a huge undertaking, but I'm sure this will be examined further in the days and weeks to come. And if anything else, potentially more rules will be made on, because this was a serious competition. This wasn't just a fun, I mean, I know it was fun and free, but I mean, these guys, there was some real stuff on the line. Like this was probably one of the most amazing sporting events of 2020 that we all just witnessed right here. And yeah, it's painful to see potentially if there was some sort of an issue. I don't know. Definitely something that's going to keep us talking for quite some time. Greetings from Bulgaria. Keep up the cool stuff. Awesome. Do you have buffs for sale? We do have some on our website. Will there be virtual drug testing for virtual races? Testing for Fireball? There might be. Let's see. 1 mile in 20 to 30 minutes would get more signups. Yeah, maybe 20. Yeah, what do you guys think? If we did a last person standing format, how often would you want us to do? Would you want us to do every 15 minutes or every 20 minutes? I don't know. 4 miles an hour is kind of a nice pace. Most people can do that on a flat course for at least a few hours. Online 3 persona. Thank you for the rundown and conversation. Sweet. Last person standing is beyond cool. Shout out Red Bull Wings for life, but now a different format. Pretty much, yeah. Let's see. What is this channel about? Running. This is all about mountain running. It's my personal journey through running and covering the sport from all angles. Thanks for finding it, I guess, randomly. Anna should have won by default. Very good point. Hey, from New Zealand, we have been in lockdown. My friend is running 60 Ks around his property for his 60th birthday. Sweet. Be safe out there. Did I know Radek before the race? No, I actually did not. But he's stout. He's like placed podium at Spartathlon for like 4 years. Pretty crazy. So yeah, the golden roll of toilet paper. It's going to Michael Wardian. It's impressive. There's a statement from the RD on Facebook. All right. I'm going to go pull that up and read it to you guys right now, because why not? So Laz has a statement here too. I'll read that. 41 minutes ago. He says, maybe I'm the only person who's glad to not be in charge. Maybe I am the only person who's glad not to be in charge, not this time. People tend to see the world in black and white. And with the screen of not having to make decisions when things go gray, deal in absolutes. Being here in quarantine in the house on the hill and handcuffed by a near total absence of technological skill, I don't know how many people saw the events that unfolded at the start of hour 63, but here is what I saw. With the caveat that I had finally gotten to sleep for a couple hours, I did not realize it at the time, thinking I had just taken a nap between the start of hour 61 and the start of 62. I actually slept through hour 62, and it was time for 63. I got to the computer during the countdown. As the final minute counted down, I just saw Radek's treadmill standing alone. It got under 30 seconds, and still no Radek. I thought he must have quit. Then, with just seconds left, here's Radek, and gets on his treadmill and is just standing there. I am yelling at him, which is useless because he can't hear me. By a minute after the start, I think he is done. Almost 2 minutes in, he starts running. The race management disqualified him. Maybe in the world of people who are absolutely certain they know the right answer, I am the only one who is glad not to be in charge today. Mike did his 63rd hour, and now he is the winner. Radek was left with the taste of ashes. Whew. That's some poetry right there. And let's go to the RDs now. I'm going to go to their Facebook page. So Personal Peak Endurance, if you guys want to check them out on Facebook. So they say, congratulations to the winner of the Quarantine Backyard Ultra. Mike Wardian finished 63 laps, 422.3 kilometers, 262.52 miles, 63 hours, and the winner of the world's most coveted prize, the golden toilet paper roll with the assist by Radek. Here's the statement from the DQ. Radek Brunner failed to leave the corral when the bell rang. This is what makes the backyard format so heart-wrenching. The bell doesn't care. The bell just rings. It is we who care. It is we who do not wish it to end, but it never ends well. It may only end gracefully. I think we read that earlier, so. Man. I think we're all have to digest this for a while, maybe get some sleep on it. Do your hoodies have one through pocket or two separate hand pockets? It's a one through pocket. Taylor Rice, you should do a last person standing with 1,000 feet of gain per hour. Okay. Andrew Pavey, 20 minutes would let us mere mortals pee occasionally. 20 minutes per mile would go literally forever. For your last standing, you should, last finisher of every lap should be eliminated. Ryan Downey asks, is the Aravaipa virtual run reg closed? It's still open. We just can't guarantee the goods by the race. Link to the Facebook page. Thanks. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll post it here now. All right, we definitely got some opinions in the chat room here tonight. Crappy ending, great race. So, well, there it is, guys. I think, like Laz said it the best, I'm glad I'm not in charge tonight on this one. It's a tough call to be made for sure. So, I don't know. That about wraps it up. I might wrap up this live stream. Just wanted to jump on here with some thoughts and continue the discussion a little bit more. Not on a Facebook platform because I know some mud is probably going to be slung around. So anyways, hopefully we can all just be kind to one another on this. But Steel Town Runner, are you kidding me? Did you really miss it? You should head over. If you really did, you should go check out Laz's post in Personal Peak. Yeah, I don't know if you mean you missed it or not, but yeah. Oh, what did you miss from me? Oh, nothing important. I was just logging on to continue the discussion about what happened tonight. I actually didn't see it live. My mom texted me and called me and said that it was over. So I just went back and watched the live stream, and I didn't get to see any more of what was unfolding. So I just wanted to come on here and chat. Cool. Anyways, we're about 30 minutes in. I'm going to end this live stream. Thank you guys so much for checking it out and for tuning into the Quarantine Backyard Ultra. It's heartbreaking. It's kind of what the sport's about sometimes. Whew. Yeah. I don't know what else to say right now, but I got work to do. All right. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.